Good morning and welcome to the fifth quarter AZ. And I want to thank everybody for being here this morning. My name is Danny Neal. I'm your co-host, and I'm just happy to be here this morning. And we're going to just move along. It's hot. Man, want to get somewhere where it's nice and cool at. But before I do that, I talk. Speaking of cool, the coolest guy I know, my friend.
Wow.
My friend, the coach, Mr. Tyrone Johnson. How you doing this morning, man?
What's up, Coach? I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I say you the coolest guy I know because you sit in that nice air-conditioned office.
We ain't got the temperature right. I'm actually sweating. It's these bright lights, man.
You got bright lights?
I got bright lights, man.
All I got is one little lamp shining on me, man. But
that's all you need because you just shine naturally, man.
That's that soul glow. That's that soul glow. But hey, man, it's hot.
It's definitely been hot.
Man, and I know you don't watch TV like I do because you're not retired, but they're saying that these few days have set the record for the hottest average temperature nationwide.
Now, man, they said in the world.
They said the world?
They say every recorded, man, the world.
All I heard was United States, man. You done heard more than me. You done went all over the world, man. but seriously, that's crazy.
That is, man.
That's when Flagstaff started getting 92, 93 degrees, something wrong, man. I mean,
we typically hit the 90s at least once or twice every year, you know what I mean? But now we hovering around that 88 mark, way too many days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, man, and I was just watching on the news last night, they were talking about how in Phoenix, people's cars are just acting up. The heat is kind of like melting the windshield wipers and stuff. They're sticking to the windows.
Hey, man, keep that under wraps. We don't need that to get out because, maybe some people moving back to Arizona going to Phoenix, and so we don't necessarily need that getting out. So you keep that on the hush.
Well, you just said it's all over the United States, so everybody suffers, so it's okay. And the fact is, we're going to Phoenix for 2 days tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. And I was looking at the schedule, man. I was half tempted to do a turnaround, but I'm like, I don't know what Sunday's schedule is, though. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's gonna be hot down there.
I know, because we're going to be down. We'll be through by 1 o'clock tomorrow, so a turnaround wouldn't be that bad. I thought about that, too, but I'm having the luxury of meeting my granddaughter, Tamara, who flew in from Houston, and my grandson, and we're all going to go have lunch tomorrow. And so, yeah, it's going to be hot outside, but it's going to be nice and cool wherever we're at. So that's good, man. But, I give you kudos. We were in the 4th of July parade on Tuesday. You walked the whole way, Coach. And I sat in the truck. I sat in the back and like this.
But you didn't quite sit like that.
But
you were standing, getting them up. Let's go.
We had fun,
How did it
man.
feel for you to be back in the parade, man? Because, you ain't been in the parade in some years. So how did it feel to be back in the parade?
Man, it felt good. That used to be a yearly thing with me when I volunteered for Toys for Tots. And we're doing the same thing we did just Tuesday, throwing out basketballs and just having a good time with the crowd. And, we were going through, we had our water guns and shooting the people, keeping them cool. And one guy I know, he was like, Danny, shoot me. So I shot him with the water gun. He had one of them super blasters. And he just wet me up. He set me up big time, man. I'm trying to get this hat right, man. Leave me alone.
That's called self-defense, man. That's what that is.
Well, he won that one. So. He won that one for sure, man. He did. So, but it was just nice, the 4th of July parade, and the way we were received as the state champions, and the crowds were going wild, and past some crowds, and they just go to holler at FHS. See some Coconino kids in the crowd. We're like, come on, FHS. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Well, I can understand that they ain't gonna say that, you know what I mean? But at least it was a little bit of fun, banter back and forth, you know what I mean? And just for the girls to finally get their moment, it was talked about them having a parade once they got back, and for them to get their moment to share in the 4th of July. There was a lot of work put in on the float, and our booster club did an excellent job. They made a little replica trophy. of the state championship trophy. And so it was just cool. The girls' pictures, I mean, I think it was decked out nice and
Right.
represented the fourth, in the decorations. And so it was just a great moment for the kids.
It was, man. And just to see the turnout for the 4th of July parade, even with the weather conditions, was incredible. Growing up here in Flagstaff, as both of us are, and we remember the 4th of July parades, the powwows, and just, it was one of the biggest things in the whole United States at that time. And right. I think that we're coming back, and it was just a great atmosphere, great time, and a great event for Flagstaff, man. So it was good. So man, I see you got on your golf shirt. No, what you doing? You getting your Tiger Wood on today?
No, man, people got to work. Sometimes this could be business professional or business casual. You know what I mean?
Be.
So
it could be lunch.
So
it could be a lunch date.
It could be Tiger Hood time, but you know what I mean. People got some jobs to do. Everybody ain't retired and can pick and choose when they work. You know what I mean?
Job.
Yes.
How you spell it? You spell that retired. Retired.
For some people, other people is WORK. Work.
Capital W. Well, that's all right, man. So it's just been great. It's been a good time. It's just kind of crazy. The summer's almost over.
Yeah, when you think of it, and it's already past July 4th, and it just seemed like we started, and then for a lot of these kids here in about just a little over a month, they'll be back in school. It'll be the start of another school year, and so right. Time just be moving, man. It don't wait on no one, so make the most of it.
It does. And we got a great guest today. Before I want to bring him on, there's one more thing I cannot forget, and that's the fact that you and I may be the only two Spurs fans and Mulaney in Flagstaff, and we went through that California League 2-0, got the #1 draft pick. We are back. It's just,
yes, sir.
Just so. And with that, hey, if you guys like us, hit us with a like, subscribe, do what you just let us know, show us some love, and let us know that you're here, you're seeing us, you like what we're doing. If there's some guests on the show that haven't been here that you know of, hit us up. We want to interview anybody. We ain't scared of nobody. We will talk to anybody, just like that. And the last thing I want to bring out is our Flagstaff Sports Foundation Hall of Fame Awards banquet. Is August 4th. We do have tickets for pre-sale. If you would like to be there, you please come in. We've got some great inductees this year. We've got a young man, Don Chapetti, who was playing back in the day, Jimmy June Wong, and we've had a few of the Wong family who've been here forever, who've been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Abel Estrella, young man I played ball with, who's now just done great things in wrestling, done all that. So we're happy to have him on here. Bobby Clark, a guy who played baseball at Flag High, at ASU for Bobby Winkles, did everything, and he's deceased now, but his family will be here. Brian Zanzuki, a member of the great Zanzuki family, who's deceased, but his mom, dad, family, they will be here. Aaron Fox, who's one of the most decorated athletes ever in the history of Flagstaff, Arizona, will be here, will be inducted. Katie Blackett-Schneider, of course, she was great in track, did a lot of things, 4-time state champion at Sonoma High School. My partner, John Nazario, who did all kind of things with the kids in elementary school, was a great baseball coach, got me and you invited to work for Larry Fitzgerald for a few years, which was awesome. And the Coconino High School 1973 and 1974 state football championship teams will all be inducted August 4th. Don't miss it. Be there. It'll be a great event.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it will. Hey, Coach, you said who was it that you played with? Was it Abel?
Abel, yes.
Okay. Did you play with him or did you just practice? Because from what I understand, you didn't play much. So
you crazy,
you might have practiced with him.
You crazy. This is baseball. I played.
Oh, okay.
This is baseball. You crazy.
I didn't know.
I played. Now, basketball, there was not much room for a 5'5". I mean, a 5'9".
Hey, no, you told it right. 5'5". You told it right.
Man, get
Hey,
to the
look,
guest. I'm
man, you
tired of messing
mentioned
with you.
baseball. You mentioned baseball, man. So why don't you go ahead and bring on our guest and let's talk a little league baseball.
Hey man, that was my segue. That was my segue. Hey, we got a special guest today. He's with the Continental League, and they are in the district tournament right now. They're doing very well. He is the coach of the 12U team, which is really awesome. I like the uniforms. They was all on the parade. All you see was Continental League all through the parade. So that was great. So our guy, bring him out, Mr. Josh Clouse. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Hey man, glad you're here.
Yes, indeed. What's going on with you, Josh?
Well, just enjoying another wonderful, cool Flagstaff morning out in the backyard. Live directly south of Bushmaster Park. You might hear some of those paddleball boys over there throughout the podcast.
But at least you're in some shade right now. So that's the thing about Flagstaff. If you get in shade, you can actually feel the cooler temperature. It ain't like when you're in the south and it's just humid everywhere.
Yep.
That's
yes, indeed.
We're like you said, we're in the middle of our district tournament. We battled through the elimination bracket, set up the finals tonight versus West Flag. So it should be a great time tonight out at Dawson Field at Continental Park.
Ooh, I'm sorry, excuse me, but before we get into that, will you tell us a little bit about yourself, Josh? Your upbringing, athletic experience, and because I know you coach baseball and football.
Correct.
So give us a little history, a little bio on yourself.
Well, I was born in Michigan, lived there till I was 15. We moved to Flagstaff on my 15th birthday. I wasn't very happy about that, but I got out here and immediately was embraced by the great boys at Coconut High School on the football team. Played there for 4 years, and then stepped away as I served a mission for the church in Korea. Came back after that, went to NAU, married a longtime Flagstaff resident, Sarah Skinner, who played softball at Flagstaff High School. You might know the Skinner clan over there.
Right.
Watched a lot of Eagle football as my brother-in-laws were playing. And then had the fortunate opportunity to go coach at Coconino. While I was working for Deckers at the time, they had a service project, a service program come out where we could go volunteer in the community. And George Moak came back, who I'd played for in high school. And I went over and said, "Hey, Coach, what can you do for me? Can I hold some water bottles for you?" And he put his arm around me like he always does, and walked me over to the JV field and said, "Hey, Coach, here's your new defensive line coach." And I've been there since 2012, and really love the boys over there and the opportunities going there.
Right.
About the same time, maybe a few years earlier in that, as our daughter came up through softball, my wife was coaching Little League softball there, and our oldest boy, Jacob, ended up playing at Continental. So I went to a t-ball practice and said, "Hey, this is probably something I could help out with," and got involved there. I've been doing baseball at Continental for well over a decade now also.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. And we're
Yep.
I know you didn't want to come here, but we're the city of Flagstaff is much better because you did come. So
appreciate that. It worked out.
It did. Yep. It did. It's something about Flagstaff. When people come here, they stay. Or we talk to people who come here because, like I said, Coach Johnson and I were born and raised here, so it's always like, "Oh, why did you come here?" But and people, "Oh, I passed through on vacation. My parents used to always send us through here, so I loved it. So I came back when I got grown." And so it's an attraction here that's taking people. So we appreciate you. So, Coach.
Yeah, no. You mentioned West Flag, Continental. What is it like with that, I guess, rivalry? Is it equivalent to Flag High Coconino?
Oh, it sure is. Every bit as much. They when we play each other, the stakes are high, the emotions are high, the fans they're not high, but they're they're ramped up and cheering, and
maybe a drink or two.
It's Little League, so it's not allowed there, but it's a great time. And these boys, they play together on travel ball teams. They play against each other throughout regular season and in the city tournament. And then you get to the All-Stars, the tournament, and it's the very best from both leagues, and they're incredible games.
That's all right. That's all right. And, you know, I love to keep in contact, see what our Little League teams are doing. We've had some very, very, very successful Little League teams throughout the years. You know, I'm dating myself, but back in the 60s, late 60s, I played All-Stars for Arroyo Little League Park. I played 2 years for Arroyo Little League Park. I was a pitcher, first baseman, and outfielder. And, you know, back even in the 50s, Flagstaff Little League were winning state championship or going to state. So to see it still continuing is really nice. So what kind of reception are you getting from the community?
Very good. We have sponsors, you know, you get the banners like you see in the gymnasiums and all over the ball fields. Community does come out and help support us. We are hosting the state tournament this year, the 12-year-old state tournament, which only comes to District 1 once every 14 years. And then we have to pitch ourselves and sell ourselves to be able to be the representative from District 1 to host that tournament. It's a pretty special opportunity we have to host the 12-year-old league, the 12-year-old tournament, and send a team from Arizona off to California, off to Bakersfield, who hopefully would then make it out to the Little League World Series. We are still looking for some funding because it does take a lot of resources, both human resources and, you know, monetary resources to pull these beautiful tournaments off. So we have a GoFundMe page out there. We have ability for businesses to buy banners, to advertise and support and sponsor us. We're expecting 14 teams from around the state, 200 kids and their families. So it's a pretty big deal coming to Flagstaff on July 17th.
Oh, yeah, that's real cool. And so hopefully the businesses and just people will get around and rally and support you like you need to so that this event can be successful. And you mentioned that you had to come up through the elimination bracket to play for the championship tonight. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wow.
So do you have to win 2 games, or do you just have to beat them once? Is it a winner take all?
Well, I told my boys we got to beat them once, because you don't get to the second game unless you win the first one.
There you go.
So we're focused on tonight.
That's a coach there.
Yeah, that's right. Saturday doesn't matter if you don't win Friday. So we do have to beat them twice to win the district championship to go to state. And we have full confidence that we can do that. But like I said, starts tonight. We got to take care of business tonight.
Absolutely. So is it only one team, or is there like an at-large bid, or do you have to win districts in order to make it to state? Or, you know, is there so many districts and then you have a couple at-large berths?
Nope. You have to win your district to make it to state. So our district, District 1, the first district chartered in Arizona back in 1951, runs from Page in the north down to St. John's in the south, and most of Flagstaff east. So we got Winslow, Show Low, White River, Eager, Round Valley, and St. John's, all the way up to Page. Wow. One of those teams gets to go represent the Northland each year.
Okay.
And West Flag has been the team that's represented at the 12-year-old level for a long time. They've got a great program over there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. And, you know, like say today, and I understand by the time, and the game, what time is the game tonight?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
6 p.m.
So 6 o'clock, usually in Flagstaff, the heat's kind of cooled off. But what kind of special precautions are you taking for your athletes, coaches, in heat situations like this and game situations?
You know, we have a cooler full of water and Gatorade, so they get plenty of hydration when they're out there. Other than that, they're baking out in the sun when they're in the field, but they're in the shade when they're back in the dugout. So our goal is to get 3 quick outs and then get back in the dugout while we're back in the shade.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, some innings are more successful at that than others.
That's why I started laughing. Like, them 3 outs and get back in the dugout.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, do you have a special strategy that you're going in with tonight? Are you trying to, be aggressive, get runners on base paths, try and steal, try and force action? Or are you just going to kind of let the game come? And then defensively, do you have an ace on the mound tonight that's going to bring it through? Or what is your game plan going into tonight?
Well, both teams will have their aces tonight. So both coaches, myself and Shane Burkhart, I know you know Shane.
Yeah.
Great, wonderful coach. I've learned a lot from my battles with him and interactions. But our boys are both on the mound tonight, so they've played together on travel ball teams.
I might have to get them.
They've squared off against each other a few times throughout the years. The first time this year, Breeze struck out 17 of our batters in 5 innings, I believe, and 5 or 6, however long he was in before he reached his pitch count. Austin threw, I think, 15 strikeouts that night.
Wow.
We played 6 innings, like an hour and 15 minutes, because they just were dominant in that regular season game. We ended up going 8 innings in that game, and we came away with the win. Shane and Breezy got us in the city tournament, the first game. So then the same thing there. We had to work ourselves through the elimination bracket and ended up winning the city tournament with that team. So this is my 4th year coaching an all-star team. I've had the 10s once, the 11s once. Last year we won the district, and it's my second time with a 12-year-old team. And 3 of those 4 seasons I got matched up with West Flag in the very first game.
Wow.
And so it's tough. You're out of the gate. Better be ready. So
yes, indeed.
Breeze pitched a heck of a game that first game this last week, and he knocked us into the elimination bracket, and we've had to go work our way through it. But we're learning. You're either losing or you're learning. And
you're back.
We prefer to learn.
You're back.
Yep. So we learned all through the elimination bracket, and it's gonna be a battle again tonight.
Yeah. Well, that's all right, man. And the names you're mentioning, of course, we know. And so we're just happy to see them out there doing things. They are multi-sport athletes, and just doing really, really good stuff. And look forward to seeing them as they move forward into the high school. So we just gotta hope. Get Coach Burkhart signed at NAU for about another 10 years.
Coach is doing something awesome with his boys. So being involved, we're kind of co-hosting this tournament with West Flag. And I reached out to Shane and said, hey, Coach, we need some funding. Is there anything NAU can do? The sports department, can they get involved and help out, our youth in the town? So he went to his, the department, and they came back and said, well, with recruiting issues and, we got to be careful. We can't really do anything at the university. So the NAU boys stepped up. Those players stepped up and said, hey, we're each going to donate $100 out of our camp earnings. And they're, turning over $1,500 to help us host this tournament. So shout out to NAU men's basketball team. They're good kids over there.
They are some good kids over there. And, Coach Burkhart and I was just talking about this year's group and even last year's group, and, just the good people they are, the good young men, and then the family atmosphere, and then how they come out and how they do things such as that and support. Like they came out last year and they helped host our skills day for youth basketball. They came out in support of the basketball team in Bella, and now they, giving back to baseball, little leagues. I mean, that is awesome. Definitely shout out to NAU men's basketball.
But and I
so
once again
go support them this year.
You got that right. You got that right. And once again, that's Flagstaff. That's why people stay here, because we are a community. And I'm just happy to hear the Continental and West Flag are doing so successful, because yes, you're Continental. Yes, Shane is West Flag, but they're all Flagstaff kids. So we got to support all of them as they move forward.
Yep. Speaking of kids, tell us a little bit about your team, and give some shouts out to a few players, all players. Yeah. Let us know about your squad a little bit.
Well, we got 12 kids from the 4 regular season teams that we had. They're great kids. Most of these kids have played all-stars for years now. They did have to sit out 2020, as we all did, but they got back. Most of them started in 2021. Great group of kids. They're coachable. I coach that the number one attribute for an athlete to be successful is coachability. Natural talents only take you so far. If you're able to absorb what's being taught and implement it, you're gonna do well. These kids live that to the fullest. So I put them through, 3 weeks of 3-hour practices, and they've really come along far. We've got kids that are just learning how to attack the baseball. We've got kids that are hitting home runs that haven't hit them before. We've got kids that are getting on base, finding hits in center field to right field, whether a lot of hits out there. Most kids come up swinging as hard as they can, trying to pull the ball. And a lot of times if you're ahead of the ball like that, you're getting ground balls and getting outs. But they're really buying into our coaching philosophy and our at-bat philosophy. Austin Clouse is our ace. He didn't hit a home run until the first game of the district tournament, and he's hit 4 of them now. He's just crushing the ball. We've got Caleb Smith. Last year at the beginning of All-Stars, he got kicked in the face by a horse. And he was out for a few weeks, but he returned just in time to hit have the winning RBI in our district clinching game. It was a beautiful all-star moment. He's back this year, crushing the ball. We've got a couple of 11-year-olds up on the team this year, Dakota Ruiz and Brock Rasconi, kids that are playing above their age level and doing great for us. They're pitchers, they're center field, they're just cannons for arms. Levi Brooks, a kid that I drafted on my regular season team because I knew the type of character and kid that he was, and he pitched outstanding for us all regular season throughout the city tournament. It's hard to start mentioning some of them, not mention all of them, but they really are great kids. And I'm an inclusive coach. I want as many coaches out there learning as I can get. And most of these boys' dads have been out there on the field with us participating in some way. It's a true team atmosphere that we got going on, and I love it.
Sounds like a nice family.
And I know Coach is going to come to another question, but just real quick, tell us about the selection process for All-Stars. I mean, how does somebody make it onto the All-Star team?
It's a tryout. So West Flag has actual tryouts, I believe, towards the end of the regular season. We take a look at the kids all throughout the regular season. Every game's a tryout. We go to practices. We see, how they're interacting with their coaches, how they're interacting with other players. We keep some stats on our game changer, so we have those to guide us, but that's not what's the driving force. These are all-star kids in every facet of the game. We want kids that are going to go out and represent Continental Little League the correct way. When we make it to state, we're going to represent Flagstaff in the right way. So it's not just skills-based, but it's attitude and effort, those things that you can control. We get kids that have great attitudes and good effort. We're going to go far, and we're going to be represented properly.
Right. And I think that's important what you said. I just saw a quote from Deion Sanders this week where he was saying, anybody can put together a highlight film. Give me a film of them practicing. Give me a film of them at practice when they know they're not being filmed. That's what I want to see. And that tells the true character of an athlete. And that made so much sense to me that it was just nice. It was nice. So what you said was very important. So state starts on the 17th, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And you'll be bringing in 22 teams, you mentioned?
14 teams. There's 14 districts. 14 districts in Arizona. Each team sends one. The 12-year-old year is always full. Every district sends one because that's the year you get to go to the World Series if you're good enough.
Yes.
Sometimes at the 9, 10-year-old level or the 11-year-old level, you might not have all 14 districts represented, but when it comes to the 12-year-old, all 14 teams come. Normally 12 kids per team. So do the math. We're looking at upwards of 160. Throw in the district tournament we've been hosting, we're up around 200 total kids involved in tournaments in Flagstaff this year.
And and the reason I brought that up is just the fact that you talk about businesses help you and sponsor you, donating wise. All these teams you're bringing in, you're getting hotel rooms, restaurants, gas stations. you are helping this community so much, bringing in so much money to this community. Need to back you, and because you are. Coach Johnson, I know from when we throw tournaments, and the money that's spent in this town from those tournaments helps the entire city. So kudos to you guys for having it here this year, bringing in people, and all you're doing is getting more people to move to Flagstaff.
Well, hopefully come visit us more. Yeah. And it's a special opportunity. I mean, this 12-year-old tournament rotates between the 14 districts.
Right.
So it'll be 14 years before District 1 hosts again. Wow. And then we're not even guaranteed to have it in Flagstaff. I mean, Shola could step up and say, hey, we got our facilities up to par now, and which they have great facilities as is. But they might step up and say, we want to hold it this year. So it could be 28 or longer, before we get this special tournament again.
That's good. Awesome. And then after this tournament, you say you head out to Cali, whoever wins this one?
Yep. So each state sends a representative to regionals, and this 12-year-olds are always in Bakersfield, California. So it's the same place the girls softball went a few years back when they won state, and actually they won the Western region, I believe, but weren't able to advance to the Little League World Series that time. But great group of girls that did that, accomplished that.
That's good. Well, Coach, it's that time in the show where we have a little special here. He's falling out because maybe I don't want to hear what Coach is going to say. But this guy. But it's a special time in our show where we ask you to impart some motivation, to give us something to lead with. And it's known as our da-da-da-da-da-da, Coach Johnson Golden Nugget question of the day. What you got for us today, Coach?
All right, Coach. So, you mentioned being in the elimination bracket, and when you're faced with elimination or you have adversity or hardships, what is your message to the kids? What is something that they can take from you that they can apply directly on the field, and then they can keep that with them, that can correlate into life when they're in, situations that are tough for them?
We talk about it. Sports is sports, and it prepares us for life. If we're doing something we love, we get to smile. So we go out and play a baseball game. We smile if we win. We smile if we lose. We keep our energy up. We keep our positivity up when we're out there. Things are going tough. We stay positive. We're going to get out of it. And then we make a few errors in the field. We allow a few runs in. Hey, smile. Go back to the next pitch, the next play. Make the play. Get back in that shade in the dugout, and then we get to hit, and we get to put runs up. So, life is tough.
It is.
Baseball is tough. Baseball is a game of failure. They talk about, you hit 300, you get a hit 3 times out of 10 in your career, you're making it to the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
It's a game of failure. The game's going to beat us up enough as it is. So we don't need to beat ourselves up. Stay positive with yourself. Shake it off, flush the bad stuff, go get the next one. One play at a time, one pitch at a time, one game at a time. Tonight, one game.
That's it.
One game.
So, Coach,
that's awesome.
That is. And I mean, I've heard Coach give that same speech to you girls. We all give it that in basketball. It's a game of failure, and how you handle it. How do you handle a bad call? How do you handle a good call? If you're a knucklehead on the court, you're a knucklehead in the classroom. Yeah. So everything on the court and on the baseball field translates all into real life and how you handle these situations. And that's the beautiful thing about sports. So, Coach, we wish you all the luck in the world, and hopefully we see you. There's no shade on Coach Burkhardt and my boy Breezy. He's just not on the show right now.
That's true. The beautiful thing is one of the Flagstaff teams will be in that state tournament representation.
That's right.
And that's what it is right there. And, we wish you both the best, and may the best team win tonight and then go on and represent and take state. So we appreciate you being on with us, and, again, appreciate your time this morning.
I appreciate you too also. Thanks for letting us get on here and pitch our tournament. Come on out tonight and hopefully tomorrow night.
That's right.
Buy some food from the concession and help support. any way
Yes,
you can. We
indeed.
appreciate it.
6
That's
o'clock,
it.
everybody.
6 o'clock. I'm going to put my TV on ESPN right now and wait till y'all get to the World Series. And I can see you on ESPN.
It'll also be broadcast on CAF tonight on their YouTube channel.
Oh,
So,
cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
That's
So,
good stuff.
Yep.
Well,
We
Coach
would
Clouse,
appreciate you coming out in person and eating that food, spending that money in the concession stand. But if you can't, check it out on YouTube also.
well, that's all right. I'm going to do my best to try to get out there tonight, get some film of the game so we can bring it back next week. And you know, maybe interview the winning coach. You know, we want to get out there and get more into the community with film interviews and things like that. So there's always that possibility. If not, I promise you, we're following you. We're rooting for both teams to play hard, be safe, healthy, and just love the game.
Sounds great. Thank you.
So good luck, Coach. We'll see you. Thank you for being on our show.
You bet.
All right, Coach, man. We had another great show. Great guests, man. This is just getting more fun and fun all the time, man. And
it's always fun to get, some of the youth in terms of little league and the coaches, and just, we've been at that level, and the importance of being able to teach them correctly, and, instilling that work ethic and passion. And it's just great to see, coaches from across the city and in other sports really getting it in and getting them ready for their moment.
Right. And some of the, like I talk about Breezy, and hear how well he's doing in baseball, and I coached him in basketball. I know how well he did in basketball. Just seeing these young men being athletes and having fun and having coaches that really, really care about them and put them out there in front to be not just successful athletes, but successful people, which is much more important. So, and man, it's great. It's great. You're doing a great job, Coach. I usually don't tell you that because you get on my nerves, but you're doing a good job too, most of the time.
I'm going to throw it right back at you, Coach. You're doing a great job yourself.
Why'd you scare me so bad yesterday?
Because you scare easy.
Man, I walk around the corner, don't jump at me like that no more.
But, hey, don't throw a ball at me no more either.
You should. So,
man,
look, man, I got time to play with you. I do not have time.
People gotta go, man.
Yeah, some people gotta go to work.
Things to do.
People gotta go to work. I'm going to lay down and take me a nap.
Well, you do that, man, and then look again. Hey, share our show. Like Coach said earlier, make sure you subscribe. Click the like button, hit a notification bell, let people know the fifth quarter is on, and y'all come out and join us. And always comment if you're on live and ask us questions, all that good stuff. But we appreciate you being here today. Look, Coach, I don't know what everybody got to do, but I do know one thing. You ain't got to go home,
but you got to leave here. Peace.